Hey there, everyone in TLCtown.com. This is Lady Nick, your social media red guide. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel and joining me for the first book club of 2017. I wanted to say I thank you for your patience and understanding. Hopefully you picked up your copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is going to be the topic of discussion for at least a few more weeks. I'm thinking like maybe a month, no more than a month and a half. I don't think I'm going to be posting every week, but definitely I'm going to be posting every other week, just for a 10-minute, update on what I read and my takeaway from it. I'd love to hear your takeaway from it. So after you watch the video, and hopefully you've had time to pick up the book, then you can just leave your comment on your 2-minute takeaway on each chapter that we go through. So what I wanted to do for the first session was I already did a brief introduction as to when and why I read the book, and now I just want to do an online book club so that we can share ideas, exchange thoughts, and maybe, come to a resolution about different situations within our financial portfolio, so that, a lot of the things that we want to build up and go forward on, you're not, it's not that you don't have enough money, because I think personally you always do. Sometimes it's timing. Other times it's your skill level needs to be enhanced concerning finances and how to, work the numbers. And also area of truth is what I was dealing with. So let me not go too far. I'm only going to take 10 minutes, so I'm watching the clock as I'm going. Okay, so in chapter 1, there is an introduction, which I'm not going to go through that, but he goes through how he came to the understanding of what it means to be financially literate. So in chapter 1, I highlighted as well as underlined some things that I wanted to go through. And one of the things that is on page 14, and you go through the third paragraph down, it says, one of the reasons the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the middle class struggles in debt is because the subject of money is taught at home, not in school. And he goes on further to say, the child may graduate with excellent grades, but with a poor person's financial programming and mindset, it was learned while the child was young. So that really spoke to me, because, it's not that I got great grades, in grammar school and high school, but I definitely was an academic student. I didn't grow up thinking that, we were poor. We definitely had a roof over our head, and, mom and dad made sure food was always on the table. And not to go too deep into that, but I can understand why he can come to the conclusion that by the time I graduated from college, I really didn't have a financial grounding and rooting in how the money system worked. My parents took care of me financially. Unfortunately, I got into credit card debt, when I was young and still in college, and didn't know, that has a limit also, and not to mention interest that piles on, but that's a different subject. So then on page 14, still at the bottom, I highlighted, because he had, I'm paraphrasing, because he had two influential fathers, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I learned from both of them. I had to think about each dad's advice, and in doing so, I gained valuable insight into the power and effect of one's thoughts on one's life. For example, one dad had a habit of saying, I can't afford it. The other dad forbade those words to be used. He insisted I say, how can I afford it? Now that's a mind shift in itself, because even growing up on the south side of Chicago, I never heard that statement of how can I afford it. Had you? I mean, before you read this book, had you honestly heard those phrases? You know what? I'm going to save up and work for what I do before I purchase it. Usually it's I can't afford it once you hear whatever price tag it was, whether it was $50 to $5,000. Is I can't afford it. On page 16, he goes on to say, one dad taught me how to write an impressive resume so I could find a good job. The other taught me how to write strong business and financial plans so I could create jobs. I'm telling you, when I started reading this after searching for, not only just being financially free, but what I did was I actually went to the library first because I had been through so many business courses, so many financial advisors, and different ones giving me their antidote for how to manage my finances. But when I read this book, it was like a light bulb went on, like ding. So one thing I can advise you to do, and it's already close to our time limit, but one thing I can advise you to do is do a 3-month, just save your receipts. I was going to say assessment, a 3-month assessment of how you spend your money. Don't judge it. Don't make decisions in regards to it. So pretty much what comes in, what goes out. Do it in Excel spreadsheet, or even now with planners that we're using, paper planners. Do a 3-month tracking on where the money goes. You'll be shocked at, realizing where your money goes. And not only where you can, save and maneuver, but it's all of a sudden, you come into this understanding that maybe I can become debt free. Maybe I can lose a lot of the weight that has so beset me. So, you know what? I'm going to wrap it up there, and then I'm going to transition into chapter 2. But before I do that, I just want to read the lesson from Robert Frost that Robert Kiyosaki quotes at the end of the chapter. Let me take a sip. Hold on a second. The road not taken. This is just the last portion of it. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. So I hope that you enjoyed this small little review of chapter 1 for Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Of course, I'll leave the link down below. And if you care to purchase your book, go ahead and click on it. But just to let you know, Resurrection Life Center is part of Amazon Smile affiliate program. A portion of your sales goes to support that community. But that's my spiel for chapter 1 of the book club. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are, what your 2-minute takeaway is for the lesson. Look forward to see you then. This is Lady Nick, TLC Town Red Guide, signing off. Take care. Thanks.